Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your AEW Rampage Grand Slam review for September 24th, 2021. Joined by Abhishek. What you think about the whole Grand Slam week from Dynamite to Rampage? What was your honest opinion on this big pay-per-view level television we saw here?
Uh, I thought that it was amazing. The whole week. If we are not talking about particularly, you know, Rampage. I thought that it was exceptional. They wanted to have a great, show at Arthur Ashe in New York City. Tennis stadium, 20,000 people. They had to sell, their product, and in my opinion, they did. Uh, Dynamite was good. They started off with Omega and Brian. You know, people can, I guess, criticize the positioning of the match on the card. Because they many people, were, complaining, that it made difficult for the other matches to match up to that level, and probably it also you know got to the heads of the fans probably who were in attendance. But nonetheless, it started off hot, and it was an exceptional wrestling match, talking about Omega and Brian. But afterwards, I thought that it was pretty good. There was nothing of the sort which was bad, or I could say that it didn't probably deserve to be on the card. Probably one of the women's matches, probably Anna Jay and Penelope Ford, but you know they had little storyline to it. But they uh, overall, it was a pretty good week for AEW, in my opinion.
What you think about the 2-hour format we had for this week?
Uh, you know, if you compare Rampage to Dynamite, or you compare this week's Rampage to the first two Rampage, we have done this discussion in the past. It is the same. The fact is that it is a task now for AEW to book compelling content for additional 2 hours. Previously they had only Dynamite and their web stuff. Now they have Rampage too, so they have to make sure that it is compelling and people are invested in it. So they have to make sure that it is compelling enough for us to watch. So this week, yes, they had the storylines, they had the matches, the storylines. People can criticize. For instance, if you take for example the Chris Jericho match, Chris Jericho and his partner Hager versus the America top team, Dan Lambert and stuff like that. So it can be criticized for it, and even the because the investment in the storyline and of the promotion and of the people as well, that sometimes is less, because probably the people involved probably have not had much of the TV space, or they have just rushed it because they had only 1 week or 2 weeks to do it, because they had an end goal that was the stadium, and they had to have a match and stuff like that. But you know if you had a build to it, you know I know that the storyline is not over and stuff like that. So it could have had more of us being invested in the stories. But nonetheless, the fans, were they entertained? Were they sports entertained? And did they have a good time? And you know were, did the promotion make new fans? And will we see a bump in the numbers, in the revenue, in the days, in the months, in the years to come? So that would be probably one of the stuff which AEW would be focusing on at this point. Storylines, obviously, they would have to have a little more investment to it, a little more mind to it.
And if you are keeping up with your Twitter timeline, I think AEW is set to do yet another big venue / arena / stadium, whatever you want to call it.
Which one is it? I skipped through that. Probably I have heard about that. Which one is it?
They are flying to the UK, and it is the stadium that Tony Khan wants to run.
All right. That probably would be Fulham's stadium.
Exactly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, we could be expecting yet another GrandSlam like show. Or, yeah, by the way, regarding that, I don't know, I think it was by someone. So, it's from Voices of Wrestling, I guess, that covers newses for non-WWE stuff. So they kind of put out a casual tweet, or the way that these dirt sheet website do, like not giving away the news, but just a small hint. So this, I'm mentioning this, so like they didn't tell us which exactly stadium. Are you talking about the rumored AEW show in the UK, or is it because that the venue for Full Gear is still unclear? I guess I don't know. But anyways, we'll get to know about that when the time comes. But shall we get done with the review?
Yes.
So before that, if you are new to Slamhub Wrestling, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out our other content. Everything you need is in the description below. But so they started off hot here with Rampage. We have CM Punk versus Powerhouse Hobbs. So this is Punk's first television match after 7 years. And did you know what was his last televised wrestling match?
Probably something to do with corporate gain, if I'm not just throwing.
His last TV match was on Raw against Badass Billy Gunn.
Wow.
Man, 2014 was a crazy time. But he's back here. He's facing the newcomer, Powerhouse Hobbs, who was accompanied by the legendary Hook. So, like always, New York gave him a warm welcome for Punk, and he's back in Trunks. So at this point, we should call him CM Trunks.
M Trunks.
There you go.
Yes.
So this match was really good. It was not your typical hot opener for a dynamite with a very high pace match. No, it was simple, effective. Hobbs looked great. Punk did a great job, making Hobbs look this good. And I think this was, you could say, a career highlight for Mr. Powerhouse Hobbs. What do you think about the match and the whole deal?
Agreed, agreed. It was a great, wrestling match. Yes, there were few botches here and there. That Hurricanrana spot. You know, someone said probably it was Hobbs' mistake or something like that. Nonetheless, it should not be, you know, stick. It should not be stuck to some one. You know, it happens. It's a sport. It's an art. You are doing it real time. Shit happens. Just go with the flow. Punk was very much, thinking about, Hobbs's, well-being. He was checking on him, many a times. Was also uh, seen on camera, and you know the botches here and there, but there were only a few, and it is understandable. Punk is coming back, and he is getting into his groove after 7 years, as you just mentioned. He's getting into his groove, and let's see what when he gets into the smooth transition, then we possibly would see him in big matches, with the likes of possibly Kazuchika Okada, and there is a rumor today that Brian and Punk are probably in a tag team versus Lucha Bros in Lucha Libre AAA for the tag team championship. It is a rumored bout for the future. So let's see what comes of it. And with regards to this match, as you said, typical, classic, wrestling, monster heel versus resilient babyface, competitive and entertaining bout. And you just mentioned Hobbs looked great, one of his best outings in recent memory. And at the end, Hook tried to, stop and tried to help, Hobbs at the end, but it fucking backfired, and Punk got the victory.
Yeah. So let's go through the highlights, like you even mentioned here. So Punk actually started immediately with a drop kick because it's a sort of a blood feud. So the story here is to take down the big man here in Powerhouse Hobbs. So what happened was, Punk, he hit a big move that was the Macho Man elbow, and this gets a "you still got it" chance from the New York faithful. You mentioned the Hurricanrana spot. I think he tried it the first time around. Hobbs blocked it, and when Punk actually delivered the move, I think the execution was brutal, and Hobbs and both guys landed very awkwardly. But there you go. So Punk, he was about to finish Hobbs with the GTS, but Hobbs, he blocks it and hits a double A spine buster for a near fall. This spot was excellent. Uh, let's get to the final parts. Hook was getting involved, constantly in the match, and he decided once again, but this time it backfires. Hobbs accidentally takes him out. Punk was able to hit the GTS finally, get the win, and that was it. So now that Hobbs, the story with Powerhouse Hobbs is done, what you think? They still have to go through Team Taz, right? The Team Taz Punk storyline.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Probably yes. But you know, uh, who else? Is he going to face Hook? I don't know.
That's the dream match.
Uh, mm,
Ricky Starks.
yes, yes, definitely.
And yeah,
It
I
is.
think funny enough, I think they have put the Brian Cage Ricky Starks thing in the back burner now.
Yes, they have. Uh, as Punk came to the fold, and probably they looked for opponents that who Punk wants to work with, and who is uh, who is wide open. Who can he work with also? So probably he chose Team Taz, and probably that there also we have seen there has been some dissension with regards to the you can say booking of Brian Cage. So that also created a problem. That only created a problem for Brian Cage, but for AW it gave them a window of opportunity for putting in CM Punk, to putting CM Punk in the fold, and having matches with the likes of Team Taz. Team Taz are they're a villain, they're a heel. So what CM Punk can do here, he can get wins, and plus he can by having matches with the likes of Team Taz, all the members, he can give them the rub, so to speak, and you know it can put them over with the crowd, so that for the future feuds of Team Taz, people would be invested in them, so that if it happens that after Punk gets done with Team Taz, if AEW wants Brian Cage to come back and settle his feud, people would be invested in that in that program, because Team Taz has already had feud with Punk, so people were involved in that, and people got invested in that. So you know it would only benefit Brian Cage and Team Taz if it happens post the Punk program. So now, as you said, now Ricky Starks and Punk would probably be next, I suppose.
By the way, speaking about Ricky Starks, I forgot to mention who was the MVP of the night. Ricky Starks on commentary. This is the second
Yes.
week he was on commentary, and this week he
Yes.
was hitting on all cylinders. He's, like the chemistry with him and Taz on commentary is just phenomenal.
Agreed. Uh, someone tweeted out that probably he is injured, or his injury with the neck, which happened, I guess, with the Hangman Page, that probably is worse or something like that. That's why he has been put on commentary, but I don't think so. Probably that is the case. If that is, or if that is not, I don't give a flying fuck. But the fact is that he has been given an opportunity, on commentary. He is there for the whole show, and he can put himself over. He can put the guys over who are on screen and who are fighting it out. And he's a heel, so he can also build up programs. He can also give and put out seeds for future feuds. So it is brilliant for him. There isn't there is a shortage, or you can say there is only limited amount of TV time. So he has been given a, you can say, a golden opportunity. So he would grab it with both hands, and he is doing a great job, as just said. So kudos to Ricky Starks, and uh, you know it would only help his character and his factions persona uh, in the future.
But moving on, we had a interview segment with Andrade. He's with assistant Jose. He's talking about the stuff with Chavo Guerrero from a few weeks ago. Where he tried to get involved, and which Andrade didn't appreciate this. So nothing much here. I think plan did get derailed after the plane ride of the hell episode.
Yes,
But
and he said that probably he wants another bout with Pac, and there would be no interruptions, no external help. So let's see, probably we would be witnessing another match on Rampage with the likes of both the competitors.
But let's talk about the second match, and I think this match was great. This was a trios match. This was the SuperKliq. That was Adam Cole, baby, and the Young Bucks. So they were facing Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express. So they mentioned that Adam Cole's theme is now the number one ranked metal song on iTunes, which is great. And he is super over in New York City. Like, I haven't heard so many booms and babies in my lifetime. Have you checked out his entrance video?
Yes, I have.
Go out and check out the fan footage of this Adam Cole's entrance. This is just incredible to hear that reaction. So this match here, it was great. Very high paced style. The SuperKliq, Cole and the Young Bucks are known to have fun trios matches, and it turned out to be great. Very PWG-esque, not gonna lie. Very entertaining match. What you think about it?
Yes, it was an entertaining match. Absolutely agreed. PWGS, yes. Don Callis was great on commentary. He is always fucking hilarious with his shtick. And putting the guys who is representing over. In this case, it was the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, and Bucks and Cole got the victory as expected. The EVPs, and plus it was you can say a big event match. So I expected them winning, and they did, and I'm very happy that they did. And I would like to say that the stars of the match were, I guess, Luchasaurus and Adam Cole. Both of them were presented uh, pretty good in this match. They were showcased to the fans, and they looked amazing in the match. And Adam Cole should have, and as he looked great. It was his first big outing in the new promotion AEW, and he looked great. Uh, Great match.
So let's talk some highlights here. Like, they are going at 100 miles per hour. Like, they did start with your typical, slow-paced wrestling when they had Christian Cage involved with Matt Jackson or someone else. So as we get deep into
Yes.
the match, everyone is hitting their big moves on the. By the way, on the LED screen on the that stage area where we see SuperKliq, Christian hit a really good looking spear. So back in, like you said, Luchasaurus, you claim him to be the star of the match. He was really over with this crowd, and he was doing stuff that a guy like his size shouldn't be doing, but he does it anyways. And the thing with him is he does this sport very well, but I think he really need to keep those spots special for special occasion.
Agreed. Agreed. Uh, this you can say this event or this show could have warranted that spot. So it was good. It is passable this time. But yes, absolutely. Uh, the spots, which he does, making it special, not giving, his, special, athleticism and sports, every time, and, showcasing everything to the fans, that hurts. That hurts in the long run. So, agreed. Agreed.
So what happened was Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, they are taken out of this match. Like both men are tossed out of the could say stage, and this left
Yes.
Adam Cole and Luchasaurus as the legal men. Adam Cole would hit a really good-looking Panama Sunrise on Luchasaurus. Then he hit I think we saw a triple combo. Like he hit the last shot afterwards. The Bucks came back, hit the BTE trigger, and that got them the victory. A really great match. And if we see this type of great matches, then I don't mind AEW introducing those trios title.
Yes. Agreed. And they probably would be, in process of introducing them in the near future. Uh, we have discussed that, and we have also seen reports of them introducing the trios championship in the near future. Let's see. And I have also heard regarding a secondary women's championship. That is new. That report came in this week. So let's see, how will they use the said championship with the limited TV time they have. Let's
And
see.
my issue is they need more depth in that division.
Agreed. Agreed.
More,
And yes, please
yeah,
go
like
on.
in depth means we need more notable names if you can find anyone, and we need more legit stars in that division if you want another championship. We don't want any other situation. Have you seen the division over in WWE? Like how they suffer for both shows.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
AEW has to do something different here.
Yes.
But we'll have to wait and see. There is some potential. So regarding the new women's championship, so we could be seeing, the likes of Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, or even a Nyla Rose
Hmm.
fighting for that. And I mentioned this because they are going through a trios feud. So
Feud. Hmm.
yeah, this could be setting up for one of those ladies eventually getting the TBS championship.
Yes. If they are going in that direction, then let's see what happens. Uh, the fact is, the TV time also sometimes hurts these you know people sometimes, but it is all about smart booking the your roster. The fact is, you do not need to have your roster people wrestling every week. You can have them in backstage segments, promos, advancing of the storylines. So then uh, you have room for booking the women, and the same goes vice versa. When it is time to advance the storylines involving the women, then they are doing the the thing with the storyline, and then the men are uh, wrestling. So it's all about smart booking, and I would agree absolutely that both the companies, if it is WWE or AEW, that they many a times overlook the women's division. The Probably it is due to the fact that you know people are not that invested in their stories or something like that, or probably they are not the companies, the promotions are not investing or not involving them in compelling storylines. So if they do that, then probably things can change, and we can see them in compelling storylines, and people would be invested in every character. you know uh, every woman would not uh, suffer the fate, just like Nyla Rose or Shida did, or even Ty Conti did. Become a challenger, get the opportunity, and just go away into oblivion. That should not happen. I know that there is limited TV time, but there should be some stuff involving them. You can have compelling storylines, or involve them in something to make the fans invested.
But anyways, let's talk about this 8-man tag. So this was the HFO. This is Butcher and Blade and Pride Party. So they're facing Santana and Ortiz and the Lucha brothers. So Santana and Ortiz, they get a huge reaction because they're from New York. This is their backyard. A really good reaction. I've seen this match. Like, this is also similar to the 6-man we saw earlier on, like high pace style. Lucha Bros, like the baby faces are really super over here, and I think they should have booked Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz. New York was all the New York guys in one match would have been great.
They from the from the match point of view, agreed. I would not have any problem, but the fact is that they probably wanted to book the champions. Their tag team division being represented by the champions. So that is why Lucha Bros were booked. And also if you look in the past, many of the audience, of the fans, probably they are more invested in Lucha Bros if you compare them to LAX or Proud and Powerful or Private Party. So that is also one of the reasons as to why the Lucha Bros were being booked in this match. So with regards to if you wanted to see a great match, tag team versus tag team, Private Party, LAX, absolutely, you would see such a match in the future. Absolutely, you would. when the audience, of AEW would be more invested in them, and they would not be change the channel on them. They made sure AEW or any other promotion makes sure that you do not change the channel, or you not leave the stadium or your seat at any point of time. So they, throw in shit, you know, uh, to make sure that you stay on your seat, and you are invested in the show. So that is one of the reasons as to why Lucha Bros were here, Butcher and Blade were here. That is one of the reasons. Match was great, as you just said.
So
And
let's skip to
yes,
the
please.
let's skip to the finish of this match. Like they really did pull off some great spots, and I think it's a tradition now. Whichever match is features Ray Phoenix, he is the MVP of this match, hands down. So
Great.
let's get to the finish here. So what happened was Lucha Bros hit their spike pile driver finish, and then it led to Proud and Powerful. They hit the street sweeper on one of the Pride Party members. So that got the baby faces the win. They celebrated and nothing much. So I predicted that Santana and Ortiz could be, maybe getting that title shot very soon, but they have to move up the ranks in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how are they, coming about this whole scenario, with the HFO being involved as well.
But
Let's see.
But we forgot to mention the other part that happened in this match. So what happened was Matt Hardy thought of cutting someone's ponytail off. So here comes Orange Cassidy. It was who was it actually?
Ortiz.
Yeah, so what happened was Orange Cassidy saw this and decided to show up. So Hardy sent, it was Jack Evans. I was about to say Analaku again. It was Jack Evans. It was Jack Evans. He went after Orange Cassidy, but Jack Evans ate a orange punch. He was knocked out. Crowd is chanting freshly squeezed. So that happened in the middle parts of this match. So regarding this, what happened with Jack Evans and the finish of this match, like his faction mates lost this 8-man. Matt Hardy is furious and he wants special mic time with in the backstage. So he did get that, and he is talking about how he is fed up with Orange Cassidy and he wants to challenge Orange Cassidy for a hair versus hair match, but it's not going to be against him. He's putting Jack Evans in that position. So this is a swerve if you want to think it that way. So you could be expecting this match anytime now. And I don't know how Jack Evans will look, Paul.
It is on next Rampage.
Oh, it's next week's Rampage. Okay then.
Yes.
Nothing much. I like to call it a very lower card feud that nobody cares about. It's just there.
We had also talked about it in the previous review. They have not given it, much of the attention. It could be with the, the lack of TV time could be one of the reasons. It could be anything. Their feud also has been going forward on dark elevation. With the Jora Joel being involved as well with the HFO, and he's also fighting out with the best friends. So right now we have only seen glimpses of backstage segments involving this feud. Now from the previous week, we are seeing it on being presented in a big way on Dynamite or Rampage and stuff like that. That this needs attention. Hair versus hair match, Matt Hardy, Cassidy, it needs attention. So now we are seeing it, uh, on TV, and we are seeing it, being, you can say, center of attention. Uh, you know, but as you are saying, lower card feud right now, yes, the attention right now has, being, usurped with the likes of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, The Elite. So right now, all of the other shit has gone, below.
We'll have to wait and see. But I would have gone for Butcher instead of Jack Evans. No, I think Butcher needs some buzz. It is. But nonetheless, let's talk about this other tag match. I think we are having a trend here for this Rampage card. Tag match after tag match after tag match. So this was the Inner Circle members, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. So they were facing Men of the Year. Jericho gets a huge, judo sing along in New York. Match, it was just there. I think they wanted to put more focus on the post-match angle. So let's get to that stuff. Like, by the way, this match ended like we saw Dan Lambert getting involved. I think he tripped. I think it was Jake Hager, right?
I
Or
guess.
was it Jericho?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Hager, and he after the trip, he Scorpio Sky was the legal man. He gets him in a roll-up pin that gets the Man of the Year, the win here in this match. And can you go through what happened the post match, because it was you could say interesting.
It was indeed interesting. We saw that Jericho and Hager were trying to you can say save themselves, that what happened, save the situation and get one up on the heels. There was some back and forth, and at the end, I guess Jericho got he got Dan Lambert, and he was probably thinking of punching his teeth down his throat. Pun not intended, obviously. Then we saw people from the American top team, many mixed martial arts guys arriving to the ring from the audience. There were many people. I do not watch or I am not aware of them, so I do not
I got two names noted down.
Yes.
The main one
Please.
who knocked out Jericho was Jorge Masvidal.
With the knee.
Yeah. And of course, the lady, she's Paige Vincent. I think even the casual MMA fans know her. So there you go. I forgot to note down the other notable names. There were some in the American top team, but yeah, they beat down both Hager and Jericho. And I don't know. They got some buzz from this. This was a publicity stunt, if you want to call it. They got some buzz for this one, but where are we leading towards? And the main question before you give your thoughts. Where was the rest of the inner circle?
uh, I LAX, proud and powerful were probably preparing for their match, which was next, I guess, and Sammy Guevara.
He was busy writing all the cue cards.
I agree with the logic. Yes, I agree with your question because that is logic and that is WWE shit. That has happened in WWE, and we are made to question our logic, and we do not see such shit in AEW. That uh, but here in this case we saw that. But nonetheless, it was a great way to make news, in New York, and the MMA fighters, beating down on Chris Jericho, and you know, there was this thing, uh, you know, I would like to say that I was not very invested in this match. No, I have liked and been entertained by Dan Lambert's promos uh, in the past. Agreed. In AEW, but something feels off. I don't know that if it's Lambert's partnership with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, uh, or was it this match being booked in the span of 1 week or 2 weeks? I cannot pinpoint. Uh, their partnership, Men of the Year with Dan Lambert, it doesn't make sense. I know that Scorpio Sky has an MMA background, and it was heavily featured on NWA when he had his run in NWA. But in AW, we haven't seen or we haven't heard about his MMA background on a massive scale. Him being Scorpio Sky, we have heard here and there bits and pieces of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky that they have a judo background and this background here and there, but being in your face, that it is legit. Nothing. Their gimmick, Men of the Year, is wearing stylish clothes and being fucking pricks. That is what it is. Where is the the combat shit? There isn't. So their partnership feels a little off. That is only the thing. I know that they're using Dan Lambert as a heater to get heat for them. Agreed. But something should make sense. Dan Lambert was used on TNA Impact Wrestling with it was I guess it was same shtick which he did which he is doing here. But he was in partnership with Lashley. Lashley at that time was competing in Bellator, mixed martial arts. He was doing that, and he was also doing professional wrestling. He was the Destroyer Lashley, and he was also doing mixed martial arts. So him being with Dan Lambert and also the American top team, the MMA, fighters, that still makes sense. But this, it doesn't feel, if it feels off, it wouldn't make the fans invested. That is only the problem. It won't make the fans invested, then it is just a waste of time. You are just having shit on your television.
So you have described A to Z about this entire partnership between Dan Lambert and Men of the Year. And it does make sense a lot. But now that we have gotten to this point, what do we have in our hands? Another faction versus faction feud?
Yes. It looks that way.
Now we are going backwards, I think. This is backward booking. Because once you have got rid of that inner circle pinnacle feud, things were looking great for everyone. Proud and powerful, got started getting legit as a tag team. Sammy Guevara was being featured a lot as a top singles guy. Like next week is getting a TNT title shot. If you go back to doing faction versus faction, I think you drag those guys back down with Jericho.
I would agree. The thing is that them doing faction versus faction is also it is a requisite, because they have limited time. We have also discussed this in the past, that they have limited TV time, so they have booked many people in factions so that they can get many people on television, and they can get exposure on television, shit like that. So how will they book this? I don't know that what is their end goal, because the fact is, as there is that, there are MMA fighters involved here. There is Jake Hager involved here. Is there a MMA fight being scheduled in the near future in Bellator? I guess Jake Hager was signed with Bellator in the past. Is he still? I don't know.
I don't know. And what about these guys? Aren't these most of these guys UFC guys?
I guess so. Some of them, yes. I right now I don't know what is the end goal. I don't know, but the end goal should be. I'm not saying the match, but the end goal should be to get Men of the Year over. That should be the goal. But if that is not happening, you are fucking failing in your endeavor. That's it.
Man, MJF came out, the same guy from the Jericho feud. He's MJF. He could carry back, if he even, kind of failed, he was able to, regroup and be the MJF of the old. That's the right way to say it. But he's doing well for now. I don't know if we can say the same for Men of the Year.
Men of the Year after Darby Allin's feud, which was, compelling content. After that, what the fuck is happening?
So
their partnership only, is a big fucking question mark. If you do not explain it, if you do not have common interest between both of them, and if there isn't a common thing between the two entities, Dan Lambert and the Men of the Year, then how this came about, we would not buy into that. We would think that you just took those two things and you just paired them up. Why? Because you took a guy who is great on the microphone and you paired him with these two guys because he can be a great hitter. That's it. And you got the recommendation from Impact Wrestling. That's probably it. But no, there should be something, to make us care.
I don't know, man. Let's see. Hope for the best. But let's get through this Anna Jay with Penelope Ford match. This went short, and if you blinked, you wouldn't have missed it. So nothing much here. I think we saw yet another, involvement of the bunny here in this match. She introduces the brace knucks, which Penelope was able to use, and that got her the win. Did Penelope Ford win the match? I'm almost forgetting what's the outcome of this match.
Yes, she won via pinfall. Brass knucks, short, cover, 1, 2, 3.
So there you go. After this, we had a 2-on-1 beatdown on Anna Jay. So Ty Conti came out and she tried to help her best friend here, but even she fell for the 2-on-1 assault. And then for some reason, the HFO, guarded the ring. And we hear Orange Cassidy's music. He came out with Chris Statlander. And then the Dark Order, the entire Dark Order show up. So they all collectively chase out the HFO members. And I think we had a situation where Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, because there's something going on with the Dark Order, some dissension. So everyone was, trying to, say, let's bygones be bygone and let's settle this once and for all. Let's be friends again, etc., etc. But Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, they are still on the no side of things and decided to not join the rest of the clan here. So they decided to leave. Crowd boos for this one. Is this leading to something? I don't know. Something is happening next week, bro. In short, I can say.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Is someone showing up?
In Rochester, Dynamite. Very well can happen. Let's see.
We are talking, of course, about Wyndham.
Yes.
But I did some research. His actually 90 days. I don't know what's the status on this 90 days, but if he has the 90 days on, it doesn't expire for yet another month.
I guess I read somewhere. I don't know if it was pertaining to only Adam Cole or it was pertaining to Bray Wyatt Wyndham that they have the 90 days, but the said individual has an option to forego that. So I don't know.
So if that's the case, like you said, if that's the case, he could easily, decide not to take the money. Let's cancel the 90 days thing. Because money is not the priority yet, if he wants to really show up in Rochester.
Yes.
Because Tony Khan could easily take care of that situation.
He can. No, the build, to the arrival, you can say, if it is indeed happening on Dynamite, it was subtle. It was a little underwhelming, you can say. It was on the, on the program on television. And, we can also you can say, take it to the fact that probably it happened, it being subtle or it being underwhelming due to the fact of the arrivals of CM Punk, of Bryan Danielson, and the of Adam Cole. So it, their story, got, you know uh, to the mid card. But you know, I guess after the arrival of Wyndham, then things would probably, catch steam, I suppose.
It's not a guarantee he shows up. Who knows? Who maybe we see Hangman Page coming back, and he tries to resolve the Dark Order situation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to wait and see. But before we go through the main event, we had Sammy Guevara and Fuego del Sol, showing up, just out here to do their usual, cue card bit. But from the background, Miro shows up, beats up both men here. So he takes Fuego del Sol and tosses him to the stage area, from the big platform to the stage area through some tables. Fuego was just 27. There you go. He goes back to Sammy Guevara, attacks him, locks in the game over, and there you go, crowd boos. So now what is your prediction for next week?
As we, talked about it in the last review, I do not, want Miro to lose the championship this early. I want him to have a lengthy title run, so that, another guy can, dethrone him. But, if Sammy Guevara is winning the championship on Wednesday, I have no problems, because the fact is that, throughout the Inner Circle storyline with the Pinnacle, they took it upon themselves to, book Sammy Guevara as a star, have him, being featured on the top, and, getting him over with the crowd. So, they wanted him, to, get to the top. And, right now, he has lost steam after that feud. Some time has passed. But, if he wins, I have
But-
no qualms.
But we are still relying more on Miro to still retain.
Yes, I would want him to retain, because his character seems, unstoppable at this point. And Sammy Guevara right now dethroning him, it doesn't, feel, it doesn't feel, I don't know,
Believable?
realistic. I don't know. Yes, believable. Yes.
I think we need a similar unstoppable baby face to dethrone this monster here. That's what you mean.
Yes.
Let's see, because I have certain individual in mind. I think I will reveal that in the Dynamite review. So we'll have to wait and see. It should be a good match. By the way, speaking about good match, we forgot to mention they have booked Adam Cole versus Jungle Boy for next week.
Yes.
And I thought they
Would be interesting.
and I thought they were going to stretch it out for the pay-per-view, give a pay-per-view, spotlight on these two, but they are doing it anyway. Should be good.
Great. Would be
But
good.
let's quickly get into the main event. This is a lights out match. So it was John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. So they were facing Minoru Suzuki and Lance Archer. Collectively, they are part of Suzuki Gun. So lights out match, we are seeing it in the past. I think we are seeing twice, and I think every lights out match has featured John Moxley, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly, I don't know. Wasn't there a match with Omega and Janela? I don't know.
No, it was Moxley and Janela. See, yet another Moxley. But anyways, the lights out match means no rules. You can do anything here. So it kind of worked in this scenario, I guess. But Suzuki and Lance Archer came out. They did their first entrance. Suzuki got a huge Kazuninare from the New York faithful. I love New York. So we get to this match. The match, I have to say, I love all four guys, but it was just there. What you think about it?
I thought that it was a decent match. The fact is that they had this stipulation, lights out, hardcore rules and stuff like that. So, they didn't, have a story to it or stuff like that, or have something of that sort, a cliffhanger or something like that. Yes, they had a cliffhanger that at the end, Moxley and Suzuki were fighting it out, so it didn't end their quote unquote rivalry or their feud, so to speak. But nonetheless, their fighting style, their what they fought with, the weapons and stuff like that, it was, you can say, how the American wrestlers fight, with the likes of the tables and the chairs and stuff like that. It was, you can say, a little less brutal. It had more torture, you can say. They had the belt, they had it hanging around the neck and stuff like that. It had the torture, but the brutal spots, it didn't have more. It didn't have spots. It had torture. It didn't have spots. Many spots to it that popped the crowd. It didn't have much. That, and the Archer and Suzuki, Suzuki Gun, they looked great in this match. They had, I guess, majority of the offense, and they looked ruthless. With the stuff they had in mind, and I guess they are also planning to have more matches in the future. So I guess they saved much of it, probably, for the future, so as to have a end match that would probably pop the crowd huge, which would have a end to the rivalry. And Archer looked great. He needs that, obviously, to get himself over with the AEW fans. And entertaining match. We also saw Homicide, the hardcore legend. He came to the aid of his best friend, Eddie Kingston, and he helped Moxley and Eddie Kingston to the victory in a way. So it was fine. The match was fine.
So, yeah, let's try to get through the rest of the highlights here. By the way, I forgot to mention Archer was beating out ringside members. AEW doesn't have young lions. You need someone. So they decided to have some planned guys as a ringside crew. So there you go. So, like I said, no rules here. They're bringing out weapons, kendo sticks, trash cans. At one point, they had John Moxley was tied up and they were lashing him out with a belt buckle. So that was kind of insane to watch. Eddie Kingston is taken out of the equation. So at one point, we did see interaction between Kingston and Suzuki. They exchanged forearms. Suzuki was loving the punishment and decided to laugh. Normal. This is just normal. So let's jumpstart here. Like go to the finish. Like you said, we did get to see the involvement of Homicide when Moxley was being beaten down and stuff. So he got a huge chant from the his hometown, of course. And by the way, I think this is technically Ring of Honor's first involvement in the Forbidden Door. He works in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Right? Don't know if he's in contract, but there you go. So Homicide shows up and his job was just to free Moxley and he escaped. I think he and Suzuki did something, but what happened was as we get to the end, Lance Archer, who was trapped in a trash can. So Kingston, he repeatedly took a kendo stick and bashed it on the trash can as the trash can went full out of shape and got bent, nearly killing Archer in the process. And this is how Kingston and Moxley got the win, and there you go. And you said they could be setting up 2 more matches, and it's already announced that these two teams will be facing again, not in AEW, but in the New Japan show that we could be seeing here in the States in the coming weeks or days. And it's happening in a Philadelphia street fight. So there you go. If you want to go and check it out, you can check it out. But nothing much. And I want to point out something. Moxley is number 2 right now in the men's ranking. So are you expecting that they go back to Omega again? Kind of risky.
It is agreed. If they do, I don't know if they would have Moxley losing. Probably, I guess. Let's see. Brian and Omega might be facing one another or at the next pay-per-view, possibly. So the victor could probably be facing Moxley next.
Makes sense. There are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of opponents. You can go any route here. But that was the review for Rampage GrandSlam. Really good show. And I'm waiting for the next big arena stadium show for AEW. But before we leave, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at AbbeyManiac, and you can also connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at SlamHub Wrestling. You can catch this review and Anchor and Spotify as well. This was the Rampage review, and see you guys next time.